Hello, everyone, and welcome to the March Positivity Circle. We are joined again by the lovely Sangeeta Godbole, who is going to lead us today in some positive thoughts and affirmations and all the good things and get us all set for a good night's sleep and a great rest of our week. So, welcome, Sangeeta. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. So, how have you been doing?
Pretty good. I think I had bronchitis like a month ago, and I've recovered pretty well from that. I started to catch a little bit of what Kathy had, but it seemed like it didn't last but about
Mm.
three days with me. So I think that's good. I think I'm starting to build back my immune system. I still lose my voice a little bit here and there, but I mean that's just because I talk too much. So
That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
So, I see people are joining.
Yeah.
So, welcome. Welcome to the March Positivity Circle. This will, if this is your first time, this is a interactive session. We will talk about a few things. Um, and then I will invite everyone to share some positive thoughts, positive things that happen to them, etc. And while we are waiting, I'll share a few thoughts. So, you know, when it comes to anxiety, what are some of the techniques that we can use to disrupt the anxiety? Now, what are the things that we get anxious about? When I was thinking about that, what came to my mind was a saying I had heard back in India growing up. And things that worry people, there were two things people said that worry them because they're kind of unpredictable. And right now, it is also relatable. So, I took those two things and I added my two things to that. So, the first thing people say worries them is the calamities, the asmani calamities, the asmani. Asmani means the one that comes from the sky, like the natural disasters. We all have to be more and more cognizant of those, right? So that worried people. And then the second was the sultani disasters. Sultani means the one that are caused by the rulers, the governments, the invaders, you know. And then after those two, I've added two more. The third one I added was Aptani. Aptani is the one that is caused by your your own people, your some members of your family, your community, you know.
Mhm.
They can be a source of a lot of stress to you. And the fourth one is, of course, I said this is atmani. Atmani means ourselves. We ourselves create problems for ourselves.
Right.
And let me actually post those things really here. Let me see if I can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
And
uh,
Tanya just commented that my anxiety is sultani.
right.
I think a lot of us are having a little bit of that right now.
That's right. Yes. Okay, here. If I can post this, that would be great. Number one, copy. Let's see if I can post it. Okay, here. If I can post this. Do you see it?
There's a little bit of a delay, so I don't see it yet, but it will show up.
Okay. So, what are the strategies for dealing with those? The first and the second, there is not much we can do about it. If the waters are rough, we can't set the sail, right? We
Hmm.
can, that is a time we can use to prepare, to rest, to wait for when the weather is better. Fix up your boat, you know, put the ration on the boat.
Yeah. Get it ready.
Getting ready, yes. And then for Sultan is very similar. You know, there's not much you can do until, so you just wait until the winds change, and we can um, we can try to support each other and awaken people, try to
Right.
change hearts,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. There's a lot of
But
that going
more,
on.
yeah, but the most important thing is to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe in these
Hmm.
storms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love your
So,
sailing analogy with this. This is perfect.
right. Okay, so I can't post it. Why can't I post it?
Are
Okay,
you
let
on
me.
you're on the, you're on your phone? Let me see.
Okay, how about if I chat that to you? You should
Yeah.
be able to post that.
Yeah, do that and
Okay.
then I can,
Yeah.
or actually if you want to send it to me in a text message, like the Kathy's text,
Oh,
that might even be
is
better.
that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can do that.
And then I can, while you're talking, I can go ahead and take care of that.
Okay. I don't know if I have ever texted you before.
Let's
Oh, there you are.
see.
Okay.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. Cool.
And I will let you carry on and I will get this posted up for you.
Yeah. Sounds good. So the third one is aptani, which is caused by the people around us. And one thing is to try to set the boundaries if we can, and not be that person who becomes a cause of stress for other people, if that's possible. Not always possible. Oh yeah, happy birthday, Cheryl.
Thank you. I've been actually having quite a good day today.
Yeah, nice. And so the fourth one is the most important one, that the one that we have control over is Atmani. Try not to be a cause of your own stress. Um,
Exactly.
right? And what helps me is when I have a anxiety episode, looking back at that and seeing what I could have done differently. So, for example, I am a person who is dysfunctional at the 11th hour. If there is somewhere I need to get, particularly when I'm traveling, going to the airport, I need to get there well in advance, well before the boarding starts. And I am married to somebody who is the opposite of me. He's most effective when at the 11th hour. So when we travel together, we go to the airport separately, and that reduces our anxiety on both sides. So you have to come up with these strategies to make sure that we don't drive each other crazy. Are we there yet? We haven't even left, and him saying, "Oh, there's plenty of time still." Okay. With that, I will open up to see if there are any comments. What are some of your strategies to deal with anxiety?
Don't be shy, folks. Put your
Yeah,
strategies in the comments there. I
this
am
is.
still trying to get that other thing pasted. I think that it was too big for it, so I'm going to paste them one at a time.
Oh, that could be it. Is that why it is not?
Yeah. Oh, it's so hard on the phone, isn't it?
It is very hard on the phone. Yeah.
It's making me a little crazy here.
Let me see. Happy March.
Yep.
I'm seeing comments. Shalom.
Uh, Olive Ostrich says, I try to keep my thoughts in control.
Isn't that important? We can go on. It's so easy to go on a downward spiral
Mm-hmm.
if we don't control the thoughts.
Yeah, it's, you get out of control. And Tanya says, I am looking for some strategies, LOL. I'm feeling extra stressed today with all that's going on in the world. I tried not watching the news, but it's like a car accident. You just can't not watch.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I mean, the strategy is the one that we talked about is there is storm out there. Do the best you can to find a shelter.
Yes.
And other thing is that no matter how stressed out we are, there is always somebody who could use our help. There's always somebody. That's how we're gonna get through this is by helping each other, lifting each other.
Yeah. We have to have community in this. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, that's going to be the only way that we can effectively get through this.
that's right. And that's why we are here.
So who else is looking for or has some strategies that they've been using to deal with this kind of of world, like there's no way. It's like I said last night in the Motivate Your Monday. I don't care how hard you try to bury your head under a rock with this, it's not working. There's no way because it's coming at you from all directions, and no matter how much you're trying to go la 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 la, it's seeping in. It's seeping in, and it's hitting that psyche of yours, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a hurricane, right? You can't miss it. You can't
Right.
look the other way. But at
Right.
the same time, you can't expect to outrun it.
Exactly. There's just no way. It's
Yeah.
just it's too much. It's just definitely too much, right?
Yeah, it's too much. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. So we need to brace ourselves, come up with plan A, plan B.
Yes.
Okay,
It's. I'm still trying to post this. I'm so sorry.
that's
It's
okay.
giving me a really hard time. Oh, oh,
Oh, there it is.
there's the first two.
First two.
All right, let me grab the second two now that I know what to do. It's weird. It makes me copy the whole thing, and then I have to go in and delete part of it
Mm. Mm.
to get it back into the chat.
What if I run really fast? You know, now with that, I wonder if it would be less stressful in a place that's outside of the United States.
And Tanya is from Canada, so she is a great person to
Oh,
let us
oh
know.
no. No, we're putting a lot of stress on them. Poor Canadian.
Right? Oh, I feel so
Oh,
bad.
oh, that is really worse. They are at a worse position than we
All right, and there's the other two are up there now too.
are. Okay, great. Thank you, Cheryl.
You're welcome. Oh, yeah, it's
How is the spirit in Canada, Tanya?
is today the first day that those sanctions were put in place
Mm-hmm.
against them? Yeah, it's so ridiculous. I have never rolled my eye so hard as I have for the past week.
All right. So we're trying to be positive here against all odds.
Yes, against all odds.
Against our
Yeah.
okay.
Tanya says everyone is worried.
Everyone is worried. Yeah. And against all odds, let's begin. Let's take the perspective. Um, Cheryl, do you mind putting up our image of the?
No, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's take a perspective. There we are in the big universe. We are the voyagers of an unknown journey on our spaceship, the Earth. It is a journey from one unknown to another. But nothing stays the same. This too shall pass. Nothing stays the same, not even the stars or the galaxies. The journey is not easy. It comes with struggles and hardships. The only way to get through it is to hold each other, to uplift each other. Let us whisper the words of courage and kindness. Let us sing the songs of love. Let us be together in this circle. Let us take a couple of minutes of silence to meditate on positive thoughts. Cheryl, can we please have a 2 minute counter going? Think of something that makes you happy. Maybe it is a person, maybe it is a place, or maybe you you have faith in a God and it helps you pray. Sometimes some fragrances bring good memories back, memories from the childhood. Sometimes a breeze reminds us of something good that happened, or a season. The spring is coming. Nature doesn't care about Asmani or Sultani. Nature just recovers from everything, and we can too. Deep breaths. Okay. Thank you, Cheryl, for that. All right. So, does anyone want to go first with what positive thoughts came to their mind?
I was just thinking, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was just thinking that I had a thought earlier today when I was reading some stuff online, and it kind of hit me that I still have faith in humanity, and I still think that there's more good than evil in the world. And I have to believe deep in my soul that a lot of people who may have not paid attention to what was happening have now started to have the veil lifted from their eyes. And I have to have faith, um, that what I'm seeing is a sign of good things to come. For instance, I'll use my own family as an example. My father and mother live in Florida in a gated community. You can translate that however you want. I translate it to there's a bunch of like minded people that live in that community, and they're all older, and they all tend to skew very conservative. Prior to elections and things like that, my father did a lot of, he'd always be making little jabs and stuff because he thinks it's funny to get people riled up and things like that. And he would post a lot of stuff on Facebook and things, and I ignore it. I'm so used to it, right? Um, but I've noticed in the past several weeks that, and the last time that we were there, my dad didn't really do a bunch of jab poking. My dad didn't really talk about anything. He didn't bring anything up. Um, and I want to believe that is because he is kind of seeing the things that are happening, and he's saying, okay, this isn't what we signed up for. And I have to believe that that's happening in a lot of houses, in a lot of places. And that gives me faith in humanity, that I feel like goodness will prevail, is how I feel.
That's a good thought. Hopeful, positive.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Tanya is saying. Tanya is saying people need to remember to be good to each other. It's not the people doing any of this. I love my American friends. Thank you, Tanya.
Yes, we love you too.
We love you too. And then she said, I was envisioning myself as a tree. How beautiful. I had a sickness inside me. It didn't kill me. I grew my branches around it and it kept growing.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Tanya.
That's beautiful. Anyone else? I can share my thought I had. So me and my immediate family, we're going to be traveling for a wedding where we are going to meet many family members that we haven't met in a long time after the pandemic. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Family can be very healing, and family can also be very tiresome. Um, I think we all kind of learn how to balance the two depending on what kind of family we come from. Um, my hope is that everyone can find that balance with their family because family is so, so very important.
Yes, definitely. Ultimately, it will be the family, right, that will
Mm,
come to your help, come to your assistance.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and remember, um, this is one of the things that we talk about a lot in the gay community. And family is not only the family that you are born into, but it's also the family that you choose and that you make. So a lot of us have also, in addition to our regular families, we have our chosen family. For Kathy and I, all of you are part of our chosen family. You are our community. You are the people that we respect your opinions, that we want to hear from, that we want to help. Um, you're the people we want to know what's going on in your lives and things. And yeah, I think it's really important whether it's your your family you're born into or the family that you choose. You know, those are the people that ultimately you will rally around.
Yeah, and it is unfortunate that we as humanity, we learn our lessons hard way.
Mm-hmm.
It took two big wars for us to make a lot of changes, like for the for us to realize that we there is much good that can be done than fighting with each other. But yet once in a while we come back to that point over and over again. But after that something good comes out. But unfortunately we are in this cycle that we need these big sad events to happen to retrospect and say no,
Wake people
that
up.
wasn't the right thing.
Right.
So here we are. Maybe right now is the right time to reach out to people, because we know a lot of people are hurting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they are in a conflict, they are in a war or impending conflict, and it's not just the wars that the media tries to catch our attention. There are many other conflicts going on. So this is a time to reach out to people and uplift each other and say that there is we are all one people. We may have differences, many differences among each other, but then again we are in this journey together.
And the world is much smaller now than it used to be
It used
because
to. Yes.
we know everything that is going on everywhere now. And it's, I was talking about this last night even. It's just weird that you bring it up because it's like kind of like trying to drive it home, and the fact that this we're connected. The whole world is connected. We're not just sitting over here in America in our own little desert of America, doing our thing. Everything that we do impacts somebody someplace else. Stuff that people do somewhere else impacts us. We are not these individual countries anymore. Like the world is this one big place that is all this intricate ins and outs and details, and it doesn't matter if you're just this small child on the tip of Africa somewhere, you are still connected to me here. There's something that I'm involved with that impacts you. And we're
Yeah.
all interconnected. And to untwine all that would be so just hard on everyone. So
Yeah.
I have faith that that's not going to happen,
Yeah.
because
And
we're all going to stand up as one.
yeah, we must stand up as one. That is the only way. If either we have two choices, either we can get our weapons and kill each other, or we can stand up as one and say that everyone, every living being wants the same thing that I want. They have the same aspirations, same desires. And how to get to that point without killing each other? That is
Right.
what we need to think about, and that is the message we need to spread right now.
Exactly.
And it's not just the earth, the whole universe is one, actually. I mean,
Yes.
we're getting the energy from the sun that's millions of miles away from us.
Mm-hmm.
And there
Yeah.
is the big planet Jupiter that protects us actually from the asteroids that come into the solar system, because it's
Mm-hmm.
so big and it's so behind us. And so it attracts a lot of the asteroids that would otherwise hit us.
Yeah.
We are in a very special place. And that is a thing to be happy about, that we are in this very special place.
Mm-hmm.
All
Well,
of us.
it's actually this magical time as well, with all the technology and all the things that we've learned. I mean, if you think about in 1945, the things that my grandparents had access to versus now, what we have on a daily basis in our pockets, on our wrists, are things that they read about in books of sci-fi fantasy that exists now, because everybody worked together to make all that stop. Everybody worked together to make the world a better place. Everybody stood strong to say no more, and had the time for all this to happen. And just imagine if we stand up now and we say no more, how much even more amazing, right, the next 40 years are going to be. I mean, just 40, 50 years from now, it's going to just be like mind blowing. But we
Yeah.
have to do it together.
We have to do it. We have to spread the message of love and kindness and oneness and unity. We
Yes.
have, yeah, we have tasks to do. We have work to do. We can't just fall into despair.
Right. Right. And we have to take care of ourselves, each of us as individuals, so that we can help the next person. So it's
Correct.
really, really important that self care happens, so that you can help the next person. And like I
Yeah.
always say, you have to put your mask on first before you can put the mask on somebody else and help them.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to do it.
Yeah. And those who are not posting in the chat, that is totally fine. What positive thoughts you had, as I always say, please write it down on a piece of paper. It's really
Mm-hmm.
important to acknowledge the positive thoughts that we get, because sometimes they are so few and far in between.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to cherish those.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who right now don't feel safe. Um, and I just want to say, you know, if you don't feel safe and you need somebody to drive you to the store, you need something, like you just want somebody to be with you when you go someplace else, if you're in my area, call me. If I'm available, I will go with you. And I will stand up with you to do whatever you need to do to get what you need to make yourself feel safe.
Yeah, Peggy is has concerns about there are a few that are truly evil. They really want to hurt people. Yeah, there are some people like that in the
Mm-hmm.
world. We can't deny that.
Yep.
And what, how these people are able to get more power to hurt is by dividing people,
Mm-hmm.
by saying you're this and you're not that, and you have this skin color and you were born here.
Mm-hmm.
So the more we understand the message of unity, the less power they have.
Exactly.
This we have this identity myopia. Every one of us has to
Mm-hmm.
some degree. We don't understand the big universe that we are a part of. We are getting sunlight from the sun. We get to see stars that are unimaginably far away from us. And yet we get into this pettiness of I am this and you are that. I speak this language and you speak that language, therefore I'm not gonna like you. And this identity myopia is what we need to overcome within ourselves and in the society. And that is the work that is cut out for us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
If we didn't get into that, these petty identities, these evil people would not be able to get the power that they have today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
Hi,
they
Lily.
get power. They get power by, you know, telling their lies and telling stories to people that aren't true and making them think one thing is happening when something else totally is happening. And that's how they get power. That's how they keep power.
And dividing people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So I would say that reach out to a person kindly, even though you don't agree with them, even though politically you don't agree with them. And I think that's the only way, you know.
Mm-hmm. Have a conversation with somebody. Last year at ECAM, there was a gentleman who was from a part of the country that was kind of remote, and he wasn't around a lot of gay people. And so he had this opinion in his head about gay marriage and gay people and things like that, and that, you know, we were all trying to get something that somebody else didn't have, that we were trying to get special concessions made for us. And he asked me one night on the way back to the hotel, we talked a little bit on the bus going to an event that we went to, and he said, "Would you mind sitting with me and talking with me a little bit? I want to ask you questions." And I was like, "Sure, absolutely." You know, he and I sat and talked for 2.5 hours in that lobby. And when we got done, he said, "You know, I've never been around anybody who was a lesbian. I've
Mhm.
never really been around gay people until this conference." And he said, "You know, you put your pants on just like I do, and you don't want anything different from your life than what I want. And so all these things that I've always thought in my head, they're not true." And he had a whole different perspective after that. And he then took time during the conference to talk to even other people. And he was like, "You know, I have to kind of reassess my thinking about some of these things, because I'm finding that the truths that I made up in my head may not necessarily be reality." And you know, he was an older gentleman as well. And I've been seeing a trend of that lately, even with some people in our community, that older people, where in the past we've always been like, "Oh, they're all set in their ways, you can't change them, blah, 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 blah." That's not true. because they're all curious, and all that's really happening is they're being exposed to things that they've seen their whole entire life, but now it's not something that was hush hush. Now it's something that's out in the open. And so now they're curious and they're asking questions, and they're meeting people and they're making friends. And the fact that somebody may be gay is an after fact to them. Like, then they're just like, oh, really? Like, they don't, you know what I mean? And then they kind of just like, you can see the look on their face when they're like, oh, they've kind of hit that spot where they're like, I know somebody who's gay, and I'm okay with it, you know. And it's like it makes them start thinking. It makes people start experiencing the world in a different way than maybe they weren't used to. And then, you know, for Kathy and I, this is a slippery slope. When we get you liking us, the next thing you know, we're sending you to the Hispanic grocery store, the Indian grocery store. We're sending you in there, get you someone will help you get some recipes. You know, I mean, it's like we've just got a whole world to open you up to, and it's just wonderful.
Right. There is always something in common, and finding that commonality is the key to. So if we make this as our problem, we are not going to solve it. But if we make it as a bigger problem to solve, then it is doable,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So in the vegan community, there was a really nice friend, and he came up with this idea like, we are just like a isolated island in ourselves. We have potlucks and we have all these vegan events, but people are not seeing us as normal people.
Right.
So he started going to other causes as vegan, and we started going to pride events. For example, we started going to peace related events, or we started going to hunger event, like against hunger events. And then people started to look at vegans as, oh yeah, they're normal people. And I think the more of that happens, um, the more it will benefit everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That intersectionality is really important.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it opens your whole world up to just, when you open your mind up, you learn so much. And there's so many of us that like proclaim like they love to continuously learn. But this is just another aspect of that,
Yeah,
is to learn about everyone else.
yeah. I mean, think about it. That as an ally, we are even talking about it. Even this wasn't happening,
Mm-hmm.
right? Only 50 years ago, this conversation wasn't happening. So
Mm.
we are making progress. The progress is slow but sure. I never thought I would be an ally. It never crossed my mind. But then I met people who are just as wonderful people and just like me, and that's why I'm like,
We
why
find out
would
we all have something in common. We're all,
right?
it's just
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
the other things that we look at as like, you know, we try to force ourselves in thinking, well, they're different than me because of the X. But, you know, if you really would spend some time with those people, then you would realize they're not really different. We
Yeah,
all need
and
the same thing.
speaking of different, I am a different person than yesterday.
Mm.
Sometimes I have conflict with myself.
I think we all do. I think that's just
Well,
human nature, right?
yeah, so it's a thought comes to our mind, a particular mood sets in, and then when that passes, we think of something different.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens with the society as well. So the work for us ourselves is to help the society get rid of its identity myopia.
Yes.
And it's not going to happen overnight. It's a slow process, but
Mm-hmm.
but we have work to do here.
Yeah. Do you ever watch Doctor Who?
No, I don't recall what. We don't have cable or TV or
Okay.
anything.
So it's a very
Like,
it's a very popular UK science fiction series called
okay.
Doctor Who, and he regenerates every so often. And when he regenerates, he looks completely different. He talks just completely different. He has a different personality, but he's still the Doctor every time. He's still the
Mm.
Doctor. It's just then he changes, and then like controversy of all controversy, a couple of years ago, he generated into a woman. Oh my goodness! But that was a first. But it, and it's he's generated into a person of color. He's did, and all these different things, and it's like the world's kind of like it would be a better place if it was like some of the Doctor Who episodes because they're focusing on just what the works that this person does, not what they look like, not what they sound like, not what they dress like. Um, and then in most of the worlds that he goes to, everybody is just like this big melting pot, right? And when you watch it, it's just like there's always like there's gay aliens and there's straight aliens and then there's black aliens and brown aliens, like you know what I mean? But it's just like this big melting pot, and nobody looks at each other as like almost like Star Trek or Star Wars. They're all mingling together, and no one is looking at that person that has this like long snout any different than the person who's human looking with pointed ears next to them, right? I mean, everybody is the society. It's the community. They're all together, and no one is looking at each other like considerably different. And I think that's kind of like that's the world I want to live in. I want
Right.
to live in that world where we're all just people. We're all just beings that exist together. And we all look at each other for what that person brings to us, how that person enriches us rather than anything else. And that's the world that I want to live in. And that's a world I think we can get to. We just all have to work together.
Yep. Tanya is saying he got into the polyjuice portion.
The polyjuice. That polyjuice takes a long time to mix together, if I remember correctly. Like took at least half a book in Harry Potter. But
Well, Kathy needs to come up with a quick recipe.
a polyjuice potion recipe,
Polyjuice
yeah.
portion recipe.
Maybe we can get her to do something that's fun with polyjuice for the potions and powders book. That would be fun. Here's something to change your attitude. It's the polyjuice potion. That would be fun.
All right. So I would like to end today. For those of you who have joined late, we kind of went fast today.
Mm.
We've already done our positive thoughts. So um, please share your positive thoughts, or if that's not something that you could share in a chat, please write it down for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to end with a verse that is about hope. It's a Sanskrit verse. Um, Cheryl, I'm going to chat that to you. Maybe you can post it. Should I
Okay.
email you? Is that better? Or
Um, you can just put it where you did the last one, and I can grab it from there.
okay. Okay, let me see.
And I was hoping you'd do some more Sanskrit for us today because I love it when you do that.
Oh, thank you.
It makes my whole evening so much better. And
Oh,
like I sleep better, I relax before I go to bed. It's just, it's a magical thing.
well, I am glad to help in that. Did you get it?
Let's see. Yes,
Okay.
have it.
So it goes like this. आशानां मनुष्याणां काचिदाश्चर्यशृङ्खला बद्धा यया प्रधावन्ति मुक्तास्तिष्ठन्ति पंगुवत्. It means that hope is an amazing bonding chain of man. Those who are bonded by it run, and those who are free remain immobile, like disabled. So it compares hope. Hope is a chain, and those who are shackled by it run, and those who are free from it are they stay at one place. Oh, Lydia, thank you. Let's see if Shira's going to be able to post it.
I'm just making it a little smaller. I might have to post it in two sections again. One more piece to get fixed here. See if that'll do it. Almost. Almost got it. Almost got it. Yeah, I'm going to do it in two. So here's the Sanskrit portion.
Thank you, Kathy.
Almost.
Asha means hope. It's also a common Indian name, Asha.
There you go.
There. It, so thank you everyone for joining. Be well. Take care. And the next session is the first Tuesday of April, which is, let's see, when is that? April the 2nd. It's a Wednesday. No, sorry. It's April Fool's Day.
Oh no.
Tuesday.
A second. Yeah.
Hello.
And we're going to do that at 7 p.m.
Yes, 7
Okay.
p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Alrighty.
So vegan knowledge. Yes, you are. We just we just finished it. Sorry.
Yeah, make sure that you take a look at it, JJ, because I think you'll
Yeah.
really, really dig this.
Yeah, yeah. Please take a look at it.
And I've
Hi. Hi,
got it on the
JJ.
calendar.
You're welcome, Lydia. Peace and love to all of you and to the universe. We are all one.
That is right. That is right. And one of the things I just wanted to mention that Sangeeta was hoping that we could do tonight is to leave you playing Imagine by John Lennon. So we weren't able to do that because of copyright issues. They would take this down. And it's more important that you see this. And so, what I would ask for each of you to do is Google Imagine by John Lennon, take a look at the words, and play it for yourself and listen to it and just let it wash over you.
Yeah. And in one of these sessions, hopefully, me and my daughter can play it for you.
That would be so nice.
We'll,
Oh, I would
we'll
love that.
see. We'll see if I can get her to practice with me.
She's so talented. Tell her we want to
She,
hear her.
I'll tell her.
All right, everyone. Thank you
All
for
right.
joining us. We will see you
Thank you.
next month on the 2nd at 7 p.m. for our April Positivity Circle. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.